Welcome back, guys. This is Maverick here with another episode of Listeners. So, last episode, we've got some major story development, right? Courtesy of Echo and the voices in his head. Obviously, things happened a little bit more than just that, but at the end of the day, I feel like they were just a lot of illusions and voices speaking to him, all internally. He didn't really pass so many seasons. Probably in real time, it was perhaps maybe even just a few hours, right? Hard to say about that. But in any case, we do now know the truth about Jimmy Stonefree, like where he came from, what he actually represents. We know the truth about the earless, who are actually called listeners, right? We should call them the listeners from now on, and the truth about who Mew actually is, as sort of a combination of the listener queen slash king, the leader of the listeners, if you will, and Jimmy Stonefree's will. So combined into one, if you will. And of course, at the very end there, we do see Mew, or Neo Mew, or whatever you want to call her, Corrupted Mew, Dark Mew, take over the portal to the world of the listeners. And apparently she is probably, my best guess is she's going to open that portal and allow all the listeners to pour into this world where, take over the world kind of situation, right? But with that being said, we do got Echo back on his feet, and of course he's gonna try and stop her. Now, how is he gonna do that? He's like on the other side of the, well, not on the other side of the world, but he's really far away from the capital, and he is literally just himself, right? So he's gonna need some backup. Let's see how exactly he pulls it off in this episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh. Yeah, they are all going berserk. Yeesh. Wait. She's able to... How are you able to understand that? Oh? I guess she has a special connection with these listeners and whatnot. I think for the remaining 2 episodes, I'm just looking for some awesome action scenes. Like, let us actually get some good mech combat. Alright? Show us some actual punch here. Of course, they're probably also gonna have to put some emotional angles in there, especially between Mew and Echo and all that. But no, we can have that, but also give us some good mecha stuff. Oh, and also Echo in the last episode. Did he turn into a player or not? It seemed that he had a I am the resurrection. Well, I don't know if that's a song or not. It certainly sounds like something out of the Bible. Oh. Oh, hey. What are you doing here? She's just living in the apartment now. Please come back at the end.
はい。
Oh wait, so literally the king of the earless is called listeners? No, that's not.
隊長は奴に消されました。
Well, nice butt shot, man. 'With the power of love. Around the world in a day?
混沌こそ我らが母姫とすれば、ここで朽ち果てるのもまた運命。貴公子、我らが愛に救済される。なんという皮肉。でもこれもまた意外と悪くなくってよ、姉様。
We are the revolution! Hmm.
すみません、殿下。殿下の旧友だという方がいらっしゃっているのですが。あ、待て。久しぶりだね、紫の貴公子。覚えていてくれたとは光栄だ。あんまり顔を見せないものだから、こっちはすっかりレディーになってしまったよ。しかしまあ、随分と大行に事前化じみたことをやっているじゃないか。もちろん、父のことも国のことも。
Where's the exiled prince?
私は生産をするためにここに来たわけじゃない。まさか。世界が滅ぶなら勝手に滅べばいい。私には関係ないし、それが耳なしの意志ならむしろ歓迎したっていいくらいさ。友人を助けたいんだよ。そう、
Mute.
変なやつなんだ。自分が何者かも分かっていないくせに、強情で生意気で。でも
I mean, I'm glad that you guys became friends in such a short time.
彼らはリスナーズなんて名乗っているけど、あの子は私の恩人で友人なんだ。なんとなくわかるんだ。あの子は今檻に囚われている。
Okay, so the listeners doesn't actually refer to all the earless, huh? Is that so?
多分ね。あの檻を打ち破るには、それを上回る力が必要だ。この船には腕利きのプレイヤーたちが集まっているだろう。おまけに殿下殿のイクイプメントまである。プレイヤーの力を合わせれば、
I mean, he actually also knows her. Jimmy! He's talking about Jimmy! Alright, so now probably the prince. And here she is. Yep. Get the whole gang back together again, right? And then we probably also need to. And then we probably also need to find the mayor from Liverchester. Yeah, sure. Rose. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is literally like a repeat of the situation 10 years ago. Alright. It's Statstra? Alright. That's a soundboard. I mean, sorry, that's a pedal board of all different pedals on it. Alright, come on. Move it. Move it. Ah, so that's how they're going to get the mayor back in on this. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. You're about to. Okay, this is from the past, right? Oh, what? Huh. That's interesting. This is where I make my stand. Look at that. It's literally like all right. Wow. Oh, he's using a wireless transceiver. Like one big super one. Look at that pedal board with all the pedals on there. Oh, there she is. It's the earless gate. Oh, it's falling again. Yeesh. Yeesh. They need somebody to. Oh. Ah. Oh my god, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is the sci-fi mecha stuff. Damn. Oh, she withstood it. Oh. Work? No, something's gonna happen here. Man, look at all these players. Not so fast. Oh, you just destroyed their outer armor. Oh my god. she's the true source of power. Oh man. Oh. Wow. Wait. So just completely penetrated her wall? Yeah, it's... Nah, she's staying. Oh no. Okay. She's like, I will stop her for you. I won't allow her to kill you. Oh. Oh. It's near. What can you do?
愚かな人々よ、プレイヤーたちよ。我はリスナーズ。プレイヤーの声を欲しい。そのすべてを飲み込むもの。私は復活した。これが宿命である。
Like I said, this is reminding me a lot of the more like old school sci-fi stuff, like Macross and whatnot. Again, what can you do now? Damn. Like, she literally just stopped a weapon combining hundreds of different players. What can you two do? Like, seriously. Alright, now it's about time for Echo to come out. Yep. Echo da. Of course. Man. Now this episode was what I'm talking about, right? Getting super weapons and whatnot, getting the whole gang back together. Love song, eh? Okay. I like this song. Oh, this scene seemed pretty awesome as well. Wish we could have seen that scene as well. Yeah, but in any case. Yeah, it seems like a lot of stuff was actually supposed to happen within the city, but then they changed it for the final anime. Alright, see you guys after this. Alrighty, so that was episode 11, and indeed, I will have to say this one was quite enjoyable, if just for the cheesiness and, of course, the epic laser beam kind of weaponry that you see also often in sci-fi, right? Especially in the old school sci-fi kind of space sci-fi sort of series when they have these huge massive guns, huge massive weapons. You know, I think it's very iconic, this type of animation where like a beam just literally punches through tons lots and lots of ships in a straight line and whatnot, and then you got these explosions going all over place, and so on and so forth. I miss that. I actually do miss that, and it's still one of my guilty pleasures whenever I watch series that feature these large guns, particularly in space series as well, where they do have this kind of effect, right? I always love it, and it also show that here. I mean, I'm satisfied, right? It's not exactly two mechs fighting each other, but it's two I guess you could say almost semi spaceships in a way, right? Firing their main guns, their main weapons at each other, and then the resulting animation from that. So that was indeed quite nice. And of course, it's also quite nice that we have this sort of big gathering, right? 10 years ago, it was the same sort of people representing these same different factions. 10 years later, it's not quite exactly the same people, right? For instance, Raz is definitely taking place of her father, and whatnot, but still, it is really kind of ironic and fateful that they are gathered here at the exact same place with this exact same party here, for almost the exact same purpose, right? Now, then again, see, if this was a more if this was a little bit a more serious anime that had more time, maybe more production value put into it, I would have think that they would stretch out this episode a little bit more to maybe better utilize these various factions getting back together again and forming this sort of uneasy alliance, right? Because remember, 10 years ago it ended in failure, right? And obviously people were not happy with each other. Some of them were being betrayed and whatnot. A lot of things happened, and so suddenly, getting them all together and then suddenly all on the same page, going for the same goal, that's a little bit too convenient, right? On one hand, you could say that, okay, sure, I mean, we all know what's going to happen in the end, right? Maybe we can just skip the drama and get directly to the good part with the fighting and all that. But at the same time, I do kind of feel like, if the series did really want to develop the characters a little bit more, really make it a little bit deeper, a little bit more serious, then they should have actually utilized that part, right? And in the end, the parts that we do see, there's kind of sort of banter and whatnot, didn't really amount too much, let's just say. But I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and say, I mean, this is something that will happen in the end regardless. So they all gather together, they all pull their resources, their efforts into one final goal here, right? So I at least did like that part. And also, at the end, we see Nier coming back yet again. Honestly, I have no idea what she's doing in this battle. Like, what is the purpose of her being here at all, right? Like, she must have a purpose beyond just... There must be a purpose the writers have for her in order to put her into a scene such as this. Indeed, the scene such as from episode 7 and so on and so forth, where she really is playing a central figure in all of this and taking down Mew, right? So, she probably does still have some things to do in the next episode. Now, my gut feeling right now is that she might be one who is blinded by rage and hatred and whatnot, and is still trying to kill Mew at all costs, even once Echo inevitably snaps Mew out of it, right? And then what I'm predicting right here, what I'm thinking right here is going to happen is, so Echo is going to finally be able to sort of to save Mew or turn her back, and then Nier comes up and then gives an all-out strike, if you will, at Mew. And so one of either two things will happen. Either Echo will try to protect Mew and then get hit in the process, and then, you know, we have some sobbing scenes and whatnot, and then eventually, you know, of course, there's still the big happy end at the end, but, and also another possibility is that she might screw things up, and then maybe just on the verge of Echo and Mew reconciling, and for the queen, the listener, to be driven out, maybe being hit again by an attack from near would sort of jolt back memories of 10 years past when Jimmy was also betrayed as well and hit by, you know, hit by the beams and whatnot, right? Hit by his own people. So I think that is what they're planning for her. Otherwise, there's no particular reason why Nier should be here, right? And of course, we gotta have Echo at the end, sending all badass and all. So, the question was answered. He did turn into a player. He has a plug now, and he's using the old equipment that Mew was using with the AC-30, right? But yeah, I think definitely the highlight of this episode was the, you know, laser pew pew stuff, right? And the wall was also quite interesting as well, the effects of that. In terms, I didn't mention the trivia for this episode, right? So in terms of the title, I Am the Resurrection. So I was indeed correct. It is a sort of passage from the Bible, particularly being said by Jesus Christ. I think it's, I believe it's in John 11, for those of you who like to look up this kind of stuff. So, I mean, it makes sense in this sort of context, right? Mew is literally being resurrected 10 years later to do the same things, to finish the job that she couldn't do once before, right? Obviously, it's a little bit more than the few days that that made Jesus come back to life. But I mean, that's another story, right? So it is quite fitting here for this particular kind of setting. But then also, of course, every single title that we have in listeners, right, is referring to a specific song from a specific band. So in this case, I Am the Resurrection is also a song by a British band by the name of the Stone Roses. Now, honestly, I don't have any idea who they are. Yeah, so if I looked this up on Wikipedia, basically, and so basically they are, like I said, a British rock band. Apparently they are part of the so-called Manchester movement, so it's like a musical movement originating from Manchester, which again makes sense because the setting here for this is in Chesterpool, right? Which is, you know, a combination of Manchester and Liverpool. And I think this also ties back into episode 1 again, where we have all this British influence with the Britpop, the Brit rock, and so on and so forth. So, and considering that the ending of this episode, the ending of this series, which is next episode, is also going to be here as well. You know, it's either going to be something by Jimi Hendrix or by the Beatles. I'm calling it right now. I mean, okay, maybe Bob Dylan, right? It's gonna be one of these for you, I feel, because these are all the iconic people from the classic rock scene. I would lean more towards either Jimi Hendrix or the Beatles, you know, considering their influence and whatnot, and considering the setting that they are in right now. But that's just a prediction here. But in terms of the actual band, like I said, the Stone Roses, I'm not that familiar with them. I haven't heard anything from them before. So, you know, once again, the writers like to throw in some references here and there to show off their musical knowledge, I guess. Well, I guess, I mean, I did see one thing. I heard that, I read that Oasis, the British band Oasis, was influenced by the Stone Roses. So, I think that kind of also has a connection as well. If we go back to episode 1, that is a reference to Oasis as well. And of course, we got the bar there, right? Which is named literally Oasis. But yeah, anyways, so this episode was certainly enjoyable if, again, you disregard the story and all that, and just view it as some pretty good visuals, some pretty, how should I say it, some interesting interactions and whatnot, and then, of course, also the great music, right? I really like the ending song for this episode, and it seems that next episode we are going back to the jingle again. Sorry, not the jingle. The song that Mew was humming before. And that was also revealed in the last episode. Sorry, I already forgot what the name was. But you guys know what I mean. But yeah. in any case, we are. I think it's called Slumber, right? I believe it's called Slumber. But yeah, in any case, we got the grand finale for next episode. It is coming to an end now. I'm just hoping that we can continue to get some good visuals. Cut down a little bit on the cheesiness. I'm sure it's going to be cheesy. I'm expecting it. But hopefully it will be somewhat bearable. And then we'll be able to get, again, more good music and more great mecha-esque fights, right? So that's all I'm looking for next episode. And hopefully it will end on a high note. So there we go. That's it for listeners episode 11. See you guys next week as well. And bye-bye.